right, welcome in everybody. Ready for another deep dive?
Absolutely. Always ready to dig in.
Well, today we're going back way back to the 1960s.
Ooh, the 60s.
Right to the heart of that rock and roll scene. But here's the twist. We're not just talking about the music.
No.
We've got a mystery on our hands.
Oh, I like a good mystery.
The death of Bobby Fuller.
Bobby Fuller.
You know him, the voice behind I Fought the Law.
A classic. But this is more than just a catchy tune.
Way more.
This goes deep into the underbelly of the music industry. There are whispers of foul play, a botched investigation.
It's like a real-life unsolved case.
Exactly.
Playing out right in the middle of rock and roll's golden age.
So before we get into all that,
Okay.
let's start with the basics. For anyone who might not know,
Good idea.
who was Bobby Fuller?
So Bobby Fuller, a true innovator. I mean, you got to imagine this blend of rockabilly, a little bit of Tex-Mex rhythm,
Yeah.
and that surf guitar. He
Ah.
called it his border sound.
Border sound.
Yeah, like nothing else out there at the time. So unique.
Totally unique.
Okay, so born in Texas,
Yep.
playing music, it sounds like from a very young age.
Practically from the cradle. I mean, this guy idolized Elvis, Buddy Holly.
It's a great...
Oh, yeah, and get this, he even built his own home studio.
Wow.
This guy was driven to make music.
That's dedication right there.
Oh, yeah.
Building your own studio. I mean, come on. So how does this Texas kid with this totally unique sound
Right.
become this rock sensation?
Ambition, pure ambition. I mean, brought him to Los Angeles in '64
Okay.
with his band.
The Bobby Fuller 4.
The Bobby Fuller 4, chasing that dream. And for a little while,
They caught it.
they caught it. 1966, their cover, I Fought the Law.
They went top 10.
Top 10. I bet you've heard it, even if you don't think you have.
Oh, yeah.
It's been covered by, I mean, everyone. The Clash, Bruce Springsteen.
Such a classic.
It's timeless.
Really cemented Fuller's place
Oh, absolutely.
in music history.
For sure. And when you think about the circumstances surrounding his death, it becomes, I don't know, almost hauntingly ironic.
Okay, see, that's what we're here to untangle.
Let's get into it.
What exactly happened to Bobby Fuller?
Well, few short months after riding that wave of success, he was found dead. July 18th, 1966.
Oh, wow.
In his mother's car, parked right outside his Hollywood apartment, shook the music world.
Found dead. Like, what are we talking? Car accident?
Not exactly a conventional accident. The scene was disturbing. He was slumped over in the front seat,
Oh.
soaked in gasoline,
What?
already in full rigor mortis.
Oh.
So, been dead for hours.
Oh, my gosh.
And there were traces of blood.
Blood.
Yeah, just added another layer of mystery to the whole thing.
That's chilling.
It is
Soaked in gasoline. Blood.
I mean,
This doesn't sound like any kind of accident I've ever heard of. So what'd they say? What did the initial investigation come
Yeah.
up with? What was the official cause of death?
official cause, suicide by gasoline inhalation.
Oh, wow.
Case closed, according to the police anyway.
Suicide. I mean, that just seems, I don't know, so extreme. And with the blood, the rigor mortis,
Yeah.
the whole scene, it's just, it feels wrong.
It does.
Did anybody question that ruling?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Right from the get-go, the people close to Fuller, they didn't buy it.
Yeah.
They couldn't believe that he would take his own life, especially, right at the peak of his career.
Right, on top of the world, it doesn't add up. The more you dig into the investigation, or should I say the lack of investigation,
Right.
the more those doubts, they just grow.
They do.
So let's talk about that. What was mishandled here? I mean, this is where the deep dive, it gets really interesting.
Oh, yeah, this is where it gets real murky.
Okay.
First off, that autopsy rushed. Like they were trying to just get a quick and easy answer,
Wow.
Some reports even say that it was initially marked as an accident,
What?
then switched to suicide, then back again. It's a mess.
Oh my gosh.
And to make matters worse, crucial evidence, poof, gone.
What do you mean gone? Like, what are we talking?
The gasoline can.
The gasoline can. Wait, they lost the gasoline can.
Yeah.
That's kind of important, isn't it, in a gasoline inhalation suicide?
Yeah, a little bit.
This whole thing is starting to sound less like a sad ending and more like a bad movie.
Right. It's like a crime thriller or something.
Yeah.
So with all that in mind, let's look at some of the alternate theories. One that's often brought up is accidental death.
Accidental. But how could something like that even happen? I mean, it's not easy to just accidentally inhale enough gasoline fumes to die.
No, it's not. But there were accounts, including some from Fuller's own brother Randy, that Bobby and his friends had, experimented with huffing gasoline when they were younger.
Okay.
Reckless, sure, but not unheard of back then.
No, I guess not.
So if you factor in maybe some lingering effects, who knows, a bad batch, it's not impossible.
So it's possible
It's Paul.
that it was a tragic accident.
Tragic accident.
And it makes you think if they had done a better job with the investigation, maybe
Right.
maybe they could have figured that out.
Exactly. And that's what really fuels all the conspiracy theories. The shoddy investigation, it just leaves so much room for speculation.
Speaking of conspiracy theories, wasn't there talk about mob involvement? I was reading about that, about Bobby Fuller being connected to some shady people, some shady characters.
Ah, yes, the mob theory. Always a popular one. And, not entirely without merit.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, think about it. The music industry back then, it wasn't exactly a clean business. Payola, protection rackets, it was all part of the game. And for those who don't know, payola, that was basically bribing DJs to play certain songs to boost their popularity.
Right. So like a rigged system, basically.
Exactly. And Fuller's label, Delphi Records, they were rumored to have ties to some pretty unsavory characters. And then there's that whole thing about Fuller being involved with this woman who was connected to a mobster.
Oh, wow. So we've got a possible mob connection, a shady record label, and then there was that whole thing with the life insurance policy.
You got it. That life insurance policy is another big question mark. Delphi Records, they took out a $1 million policy on Fuller just a little while before his death.
$1 million? I mean,
Yeah.
that's a ton of money even now. Didn't that raise any red flags for anybody?
You'd think, right. It wasn't completely unheard of for record labels to insure their artists, but $1 million.
Yeah.
For a relatively new act like Fuller, yeah, definitely raised some eyebrows, especially considering everything else that was going on.
So we've got the accident theory, the mob hit. I'm sensing there's more. What other explanations are out there?
Well, the one that really gets to me, the theory of foul play and a cover-up.
Ooh, a cover-up.
Yeah. This one tries to tie everything together. The inconsistencies, the missing evidence, the rushed investigation, even the reports of witnesses being intimidated.
Cover-up. That sounds like something much bigger is going on here. I mean, who would be behind something like that? The police, the mob, the record label.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And unfortunately, we just don't know.
So, accidental deaths, mob hit, possible cover-up. It's a lot to process.
It is.
And it's hard not to wonder if we'll ever know the truth.
Yeah, it's a real head-scratcher. But you know what's so fascinating about cases like this? They make us think critically, weigh the evidence, and consider that sometimes the truth, it's more complicated than any simple explanation.
It's like we have all these puzzle pieces,
Yeah.
but some of them are missing. We can kind of see the picture.
Right, exactly.
There are these gaps.
You said it. It's a great analogy. And even though the full picture, maybe we'll never get it,
Yeah.
but there's still lessons to be learned here. I mean, it shows this dark side of the music industry, right?
Yeah.
Where talent and ambition, they can clash with some really dangerous forces.
And it makes you wonder how many other stories are out
Right.
there like this.
Right, where we'll just never know the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what stands out to you?
Okay, honestly.
Yeah.
The botched investigation. That's what really gets to me.
Me too.
All those inconsistencies, the missing evidence, the rushed autopsy.
It feels like they were trying to hide something.
It does, doesn't it? And this is where we have to think critically. We
Yeah.
can't just take things at face value, especially when that official explanation just seems a little too easy.
Yeah, a little too convenient.
Exactly. And that's why these cases, they're so intriguing. They challenge us to think differently.
To look deeper.
Yeah, to understand that sometimes things are way more complicated than they appear.
So for our listeners who have been, hanging on every word here,
Right.
what would you say is the big takeaway from Bobby Fuller's story?
Well, I think it's a cautionary tale. It's about the underbelly of the music industry, the complexities of trying to find the truth,
Yeah.
and how important it is to question the official story, especially when there are so many red flags.
It reminds us that, rock and roll, sure, it's all glitz and glamour on the surface.
Right.
There could be darkness lurking underneath.
Oh, yeah. And sometimes those secrets, they just never come out.
Yeah. If you're listening and this deep dive has you wanting more,
Which I hope it does.
I mean, we always encourage you to do your own research. A good place to start, Randy Fuller's book, I Fought the Law, The Life and Strange Death of Bobby Fuller.
Yeah, great book, really personal perspective.
Yeah.
And it delves into all those unanswered questions.
So what do you think happened to Bobby Fuller? Was it a tragic accident? Was it intentional? Was it something even darker?
It's hard to say for sure.
It really is. We've presented the facts, the theories, the inconsistencies. It's up to you to come to your own conclusions.
That's right. And remember, there are no easy answers here.
No.
It's like a puzzle with missing pieces. And maybe we'll never have all the pieces.
That's the beauty of a good mystery. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the enigmatic life and death of Bobby Fuller. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning.